We are in a storyboard editor. Now I'm going to go into the game. And what we're going to do now is we're going to, I see I don't have my library open yet, so I'm going to open my library. I'm going to go view toolbars. And I'm going to open up my library window. I open up my Icebreakers library, double click. Now what I'm going to do is I grab this ice cube. I'm going to drag it over here somewhere, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate my ice cube. Duplicate means they're all going to be the same. It's like if I ran a Xerox machine. All going to look the same, have the same properties, the whole thing. Now if I wanted to make a red ice cube, say, make it 500 points, or 1,000 points maybe, what I would do is I would clone it. I wouldn't duplicate it. And I just change the properties, that's all. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this, on the cube. What we're going to do is we're going to duplicate. So you got the choice of cloning it, but we're duplicating it because we're just going to make exact copies. Click on it. And so now I want 8 rows. And I want 14 columns. So I just click OK. Now I'm just going to visually center these. So all I do is I click on the ice cube here that selects them all. And I can just visually center it. Okay, that's all you need to do. I clicked out in the gray area to unselect them. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that snowball and bounce it off the ice cube. So what I need to do is I need to go to the event editor. I go view, event editor. Now I'm going to make a new condition. I'm going to make it between the snowball, I right click, collides with another object. What's it going to collide with? The ice cube, right? Click OK. So what happens to the snowball? I'm going to right click on the snowball. The movement is going to be that it bounces. So what happens to the ice cube when I hit it? It's going to disappear, right? So I right click there and I go destroy. Where's destroy? Right down the bottom here. Very good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sound. I right click on the sound icon here. I click samples, click play sample. Now I'm going to go browse, right? I'm going to go find my sound folder right here under resources in my game design folder. Push it down here. I'll show you how it's organized here. See, user, my documents, game design resources in the resources folder. Okay, under sounds, double click, and I choose me a sound here. Let me try crunch. Let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll click open. And so now when they collide, it's going to do that. So let me click run, application, and we'll see how it looks. Here we go. We're destroying ice cubes. That's it. We're all done with Lab 5. Make sure that you've got the ice cubes up and you've got the collision sound. So now we're starting Lab 6. So I'm going to go back to my event editor, view, frame editor. So what are we going to have here? We're going to have our lives object. So we're going to come over here. We're going to put it up here somewhere. So I'm going to click my insert menu. I go to new object. And now what I'm going to do, now I click on lives. Then I click OK. So I just click where I want it to go. And you can see it automatically gives me 3 lives. I'll just leave it there. 3 is what we want. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the lives. So I'm going to go in my event editor. So I go view, event editor. Now I'm going to create me a new condition. And this is going to be with the snowball once again. So I click the snowball. Right click, go position. Test position of snowball. So we're going to have it leave the playing area on the bottom. Click that arrow down. And I click OK. Don't click this one. Click this one, the one above that. And click OK. So now what happens? So player 1 has to lose his life. So we click under player 1. Number of lives. Subtract from number of lives. In this box, we put 1. And then we put OK. So he's going to subtract 1 from the number of lives. So we're just going to run the game real fast, and I'll show you what an issue we have here. See, I just missed. And what happened? Nothing. So what we want to do is we want to return the ball to the playing area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click the snowball. Here's this, and here's snowball. What do we want to have happen? I'm going to go position, select position. That's going to take me to the storyboard edit here, and I'm just going to move this. I'm going to move this ball somewhere in the middle of the playing area here. Click OK. So now I'm going to right-click the snowball again here. And now I want it to determine the direction, because we don't want it to just go any particular way. We want to select the direction. We don't want it to go down. Okay, I'm going to click this here, and we're going to go, it can go this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Give them 4 directions each way. Okay, I'm going to click OK. So you just choose your ups, right? Because you want it to go up when it comes back. You don't want them to lose right away. That would be horrible. Okay? So now we just end the game. I'm going to click the click the new condition here. I'm going to right-click player. Now what I want to do is I want to compare the player to the number of lives. See if he's lost. Okay? So when the number of lives is equal to 0, we want something to happen, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click the storyboard, and I'm going to choose next frame. I want it to go to the score frame. So now let's run this. I'm going to run application. Click start. Now let's lose this game. There you go. It goes to the final screen. That's what you want. And now you are done with Lab 6. So in Lab 6, you took care of the player's lives situation. Made them when they lost them all, you went to the last frame. Now we move to Lab 7. Now we're in the last lab, Lab 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a score object. So I need to be back in the frame editor. So I come back here. Now I'm going to add a score object. I'm going to go to the Insert menu. I'm going to go New Object. I'm going to go Create a New Object. I'm going to click on Games. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the Score object. I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to place it somewhere. That seems to be as good a place as any. Just drag it where you want it. Now I'm going to go to the Properties toolbar here, and I'm going to click Settings. I'm going to change numbers to text. Now I'm going to click up here the text options up here. And now I'm going to click Arial. I'm going to choose me a font. Oh, you know this role. You can pick whatever kind of writing you like. I'll go with Cooper. Why not? Click OK. And then I'm going to choose size. I'm going to come up here, maybe an 18 or maybe a 24, 22, something that you can see. And maybe bring this down a little bit better here. So we might have thousands. This number might be that big. So let's just pull it over just a little more. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to make it a color. That's something that's going to show up. So we come down here to red, green, blue. And I'm going to click me a nice red, I think. There we go. If it doesn't show up so well, maybe you want to bold it. I can click bold up here, right? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my event editor. So I'm just going to click save real quick. Got to save this often. I'm going to view event editor. And now I'm going to go on my snowball and ice row. Collision between snowball and ice. And I'm going to right click player 1 here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for score. And then I'm going to add to the score. We decided we're going to make each piece of ice worth 100. And then I'm going to go OK. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our score object on our last frame. So let me go over here. I'm going to go view. I'm going to go into my storyboard editor. And I'm going to click my end frame here. I'm going to open that up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the high scores up here. So I'm going to go into my insert menu. I'm going to click create a new object. And I'm going to click on games again. And I'm going to create a high score object and click OK. And let me just put it here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this, correct? So what I'm going to do is click on the click here on my text options. I click on Arial. I'm going to go choose whatever particular font I want. I'll go back to Cooper again. And let me see, something to make these stand out. Let me give them a 20. Now you can see that's, you can hardly see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag on a sizing handle. To make this bigger. Here we go. Well, maybe that's way too big, but you know what? We can do this thing. There you go. You want to change the color, don't you? We can do that. So we're going down to red, green, blue. And we're going to click it on whatever color you want. I'll do blue. Why not? And I'll click save. And we'll run our game. I'm going to go run, application. And we'll see how this works. I'm going to go, okay, hit it a couple times and I'm going to lose it. Okay, I'll put my name in here. And there you go. So that's how you play the game. And now what we're going to do is we're going to save our build. We go File, Build, Application. So I'm going to take this and I put this in my Project 2 folder. And I go Save. So we're all done with Lab 7. Yay! And you're ready to turn this in. Unless you want to do the additional things that are listed on the sheet. Okay? That's it. Congratulations on completing Game 2.